Hi guys, it's Cameron from the Mighty Blues. Welcome back today to another live stream. Welcome back to another video if you're watching this after the stream. Today we're going to be previewing the upcoming Premier League fixture between Everton and Leicester City at Goodison Park on New Year's Day. A 12:30 kickoff. What an absolute nightmare of a kickoff on New Year's Day after we've all been out and had a late night celebrating the New Year. We've got to go to Goodison Park at 12:30 to watch the Blues. A massive game for Marco Silva. A big win needed, in my opinion. You know, I've said it multiple times before. I'm sure you've heard me say it on the channel. The three games that we've had, the two games that we've had prior to this, Burnley and Brighton, should have been 6 points. We really needed 9 points out of them 9 points that we could have got. Obviously, we beat Burnley in emphatic fashion, and then with disappointing result yesterday, seeing us get beat by Brighton. So this is a massive game for Marco Silva and the Blues. We really need to win this game. You know, nothing other than a 3 points is acceptable for me. Let me just tweet the stream out so everybody knows that we are live, so people can come in and join if they would like to discuss this game. We've also got a bit of transfer news that we'll talk about. Mason Holgate is being linked heavily to a move to West Bromwich Albion on loan. He will probably go there in January and then return back to Goodison in the summer, a little bit like Kieran Dowlers. Just to touch on that firstly, I suppose, I think it'd be a good move for Mason Holgate. I don't think he's probably ready yet to be playing week in, week out for Everton. I don't think he's probably at the level of the likes of Yerry Mina, Kurt Zouma, Michael Keane. I think West Brom are a very good side. Obviously, he'll be playing in the Championship. Good level of football, similar level to Kieran Dowell, of course, and it will be some good experience for Mason because I think he's definitely got a future at Everton, a little bit like Kieran Dowell. I think they've both got a future at Everton. I think they are very good young players. It's just about when they are ready to break into a Premier League squad. I don't think that's yet, but loan deals and loan moves will be good for them to get their experience up and obviously to maintain the fitness as well. Because there's no point in Mason Holgate just sitting on the bench every week and not getting fit and not playing games and not getting more experience. Shabba says, welcome everyone, here we go again, that's the one. Here we go again, talking about Everton. I've just actually come back from being on Toffee TV. I've been on Toffee TV today talking about this game, talking about the Brighton game as well. So I've spoken a lot about Everton today, so hopefully it's worth it and we go and get the 3 points on New Year's Day. The Football Fan Chat says, hi Cameron, how are you? Hi mate, you okay? I'm okay, I'm good, I'm doing well. I've got a little bit of a chesty cold, a little bit of a sniffly throat, I think, but sniffly throat, that doesn't make sense. A little bit of a sore throat, but I'll be alright. I'm not doing too bad. But anyway, yeah, well, let's get into the game preview. For me, like I've said, we all know this. If you're an Everton fan, but even if you're not an Everton fan, this is a massive game for Everton. This is a must-win game for Everton. We need to go out and we need to get the 3 points. It's a home game. We're at home, New Year's Day, the first game of 2019. Leicester are a very good team. Leicester have beaten Manchester City, they've beaten Chelsea in the last couple of weeks. I know they suffered a defeat last time out, so they will be looking to bounce back, and it's important that, in our bounce back, because we need to bounce back as well. We've seen the reaction that we had after the Spurs game. We went and beat Burnley 5-1. Then we had a disappointing result yesterday against Brighton, so we need to ensure that we bounce back in a lot more than Leicester do, to be honest, because the one thing I fear with Leicester City and the one thing I fear playing Leicester City is that teams like Brighton, they don't have much of an attacking threat. Teams like Burnley, they don't have much of an attacking threat. You see in the Burnley goal, and it was a shambles defensively. The Brighton goal was just pure unlucky. It comes off Gomez's leg and the lad's standing 25 miles offside, but it doesn't matter because it comes off our player and he gets a simple easy finish. For me, Leicester have got some real genuine goal threat. The likes of Jamie Vardy, if you give Jamie Vardy an opportunity, he is more than likely going to score. There's not many strikers in this league that you would bet a lot of money on scoring a one-on-one, other than Jamie Vardy, to be honest with you. I think, in front of goal, you can pretty much guarantee he's, creating chances and he's scoring goals. So I think it's very important that today, on New Year's Day, we defend very, our defence is tight, we're structured, and we make sure that we don't give anything away, because at the end of the day, you can almost, I know we were beaten by Brighton, and I know obviously we conceded against Burnley as well, but in them games you can, you might be able to afford to give a silly ball away and to be a little bit defensively naive. Against a team like Leicester, we can't. We need to be strong, because if they break with pace. We've seen that in the away fixture. They break with pace, they break with power. They've got some really good players, looking at obviously Jamie Vardy, who I've just mentioned, James Maddison as well, and absolutely fantastically talented player, somebody Everton were heavily linked with in the summer. So we need to make sure that when it comes to them breaking, we are defending strong, and when it comes to us breaking, we're creating chances and we're putting the ball into the back of the net. I think Marco Silva will revert to a flat back four. I've got my predicted starting 11 up there. You can see it there. We'll go over that in just a second. But I think Marco Silva will more than likely revert back to a back four. Don't get me wrong, I think the back five worked fantastically against Burnley. It didn't work against Brighton, so at the end of the day, he's going to have to find that balance of as to when it does work and when it doesn't work. For me, I think the reason it didn't work is because I don't like a back five or a back three, however you want to see it. It's a back three, really, isn't it? With Adissa Gay as well, because I think the role that Gay plays, he provides support for the centre half. So he provides support for the two centre halves to allow them to play a little bit more discreet, and he allows to get to, to pick up the bits and bobs in and around that midfield area that we might spill, and then, play as almost like a third centre half, if you like, when he plays. When we play as, with three centre halves as it is, Mina, Zuma, Keane, and then you've got Gay, it's just too defensive for me, and it leaves a massive gap in the midfield, and that's what the issue was against Brighton for me. I spoke about it on in the game review. I spoke about it on Toffee TV as well. I think the issue is playing Adissa Gay in a formation that also has three centre halves leaves a massive gap between the midfield and the front three. I think the reason why it worked so well against Burnley is because we had the three centre-halves who were doing their job. They were creating a curve, and then we had Andre Gomes who could pick the ball up. We had Skilfy Sigurdsson who could pick the ball up, and they were two attacking players that were heading that way and were always going forward. And they were giving it out to the likes of Bernard, and they were giving it out to Calvert-Lewin, Walcott, and our front three actually played as a front three for once. I think we struggled to do that yesterday because, there was a massive gap in that midfield, and I think it was a little bit reminiscent, Baz said this today, I think it was a little bit reminiscent of the times when we used to have Lukaku, and it would literally just be everyone behind the ball and Lukaku 35 yards up there, and we would just have to lump it to him. I think it was a little bit reminiscent of that sort of style of playing. I didn't like that at all. I think we badly missed somebody to link the play up, whether that was Gylfi Sigurdsson, whether that was somebody like Bernard to play through the centre. I'm not too sure, but I think with a three at the back formation and playing Adissa Gay as well, it's too defensive. We miss something in that, that middle area of the pitch that we really need creative wise. That guy says Lookman back. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not confirming it. I'm not denying it. He should be back. Marco Silva said he has a little bit of an issue, a little bit of an ankle injury, but he said that he's trained fully before the Brighton game, and I would hope that he will be back for New Year's Day, especially if it's only a little injury. I put him in the predicted starting 11 again. I've done that for the last couple of weeks now because I think, for me, when Ademola Lookman is back, he should be starting. He should be coming in. This should be his opportunity. Look, I'm not going to go into Theo Walcott. I'm not going to sit here and slate Theo Walcott and say Theo's awful. He shouldn't be getting anywhere near the team. He's not good enough, this, that, the other. I'm not into doing all that because I think Theo offers us a lot. I don't think he's been fantastic this season, and I don't think he's been fantastic in recent weeks, but I think Theo Walcott does offer us a lot. But I think this is the time now for Ademola Lookman to come in and get his run of games, to get his opportunity. We've seen it with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He come in, he's had his run of games. Obviously, he was taken out against Brighton. Probably just a fitness issue. I'm not too sure. Maybe a little slight knock. But for me, he should come back in again in this game on New Year's Day. Put him in my predicted starting 11. That guy says really hope DCL starts. Yeah, I agree, because he needs a run of games, and that run of games continues for me. Okay, we've played a lot of games in a short period of time, and that might be the reason why we haven't picked up a lot of points. That might be the reason for the performance against Brighton not being fantastic. That might be the reason that we looked a little bit sluggish, we looked a little bit lackadaisical, is because we just were tired. We just were worn out. We played a lot of games in a short period of time. The Christmas period is absolutely awful for football. It always has been for Everton, and that might just be the reason. I'm not saying that's an excuse to be beaten. I'm not saying, we can just forget about that game because we were tired. But what I'm saying is that might have been the reason that Skilfy Sigurdsson come out. That might have been the reason that Dominic Calvert-Lewin come out. For me, I said in my game preview, if you're going to make changes, it's got to be like for like. For me, Andre Gomes needed to come out for Gay, not Gylfi Sigurdsson, because if you play Adissa Gay and Andre Gomes together and you don't play a Gylfi Sigurdsson, you automatically take out that creativity that links the midfield to the front three, and that's why we lacked it so much against Brighton. For me, like I said, if Ademola Lookman is fit, he should start. He deserves his run of games now. It was absolutely pointless bringing him in against Newcastle and then taking him straight back out. It didn't do anyone favour, didn't do us favour, didn't do himself a favour, didn't do the team a favour. It was pointless. So for me, if he is fit, he needs to come in now, and what better way to do it than the start of 2019, New Year's Day against Leicester. Hopefully he can have a good run at it, and maybe even hopefully, you know, he can perform to a standard that we're looking for, because let's be honest, at the moment with the way Theo Walcott's playing, it wouldn't take an awful lot, with all due respect, for Ademola Lookman to come in and for us to say, you know what, you should be starting every week. He would have to have an absolute stinker of a game, and I don't think he would. I think Ademola Lookman is definitely a player with a lot of talent, and definitely a player that we should be looking to keep in the near future, but he needs to be given that opportunity to prove himself, exactly like Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been. AFC 1878 says, for me, I'd play the team that we played at Burnley, but maybe play Kenny over Coleman. That's fair enough. I think you know, it's a very good shout for me. Obviously, looking at the Burnley game and looking at a team that have gone out and won 5-1 away from home, it's very hard to make a proper argument as to why that team should be changed, other than injuries or fitness issues. And I understand that, you know, playing the 5 at the back with Gomez and Sigurdsson is probably, you know, a way to go and may see us past Leicester. For me, as you can see by my predicted starting 11, I've took Andre Gomez out. I think he's carrying a knock at the minute. If I'm being honest with you, I think he's playing through an injury, and I think he's playing through an injury because Marco Silva wants to keep him in because of how good he is, of how solid he is, and what he offers us. But I think this will be the game that he brings him out and says, look, you just sit on the bench for the game, have a little bit of a rest, recuperate yourself, get yourself back to fully fit, and then in the new year you can start again. And that's why I put Adissa Garnagay next to Gylfi Sigurdsson, because for me, the Brighton game showed one thing, and that was we badly missed creativity, and we badly missed Gylfi Sigurdsson's creativity. So if, you know, if Andre Gomez isn't to play, Gay comes in and Sigurdsson stays next to him. If Gay isn't to play, Gomez comes in. I think for me, Gylfi Sigurdsson has to play in and around that area, unless there's an injury, unless there's a fitness issue. John says, this time again, yes, half time in the game, and now time for some mighty Blues. Thank you very much, John. I'm not too sure what score Man United are getting on at the minute, but thank you very much for being here as usual, as well as everybody else. Thank you all for being in the live chat, and if you're watching this as a video afterwards, thank you very, very much for watching. Please do leave a like if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Thank you for all the support recently. It's been absolutely amazing. But without further ado, we will go into my predicted starting 11. So I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal, very self-explanatory. Luca Dean at left back, again, what a fantastic player. I've gone for Kurt Zouma and Michael Keane at centre half, with Seamus Coleman at right back. Now we'll talk about that in more detail. Actually, why not talk about that now? The reason I've taken Yerry Mina out is because I think, for me, in terms of solid centre halves, I think Kurt Zouma and Michael Keane are probably our two most solid centre halves. What you'd have to look at in this game is that Leicester are going to come with a lot of pace. Leicester are going to come with a lot of urgency. They're going to come with a lot of intensity. They're going to be attacking us. They're going to want to bounce back from that poor result that they had last time out. They know that we know that they can come to Goodison Park and get a result. They've got a result against Chelsea. They've got a result against Manchester City. We know they can hurt us, and what we need is defenders, centre-backs with the pace to keep up with them, and a centre-back that's very good on the ball. And for me, our best centre-back on the ball is Michael Keane, and our probably fastest centre-back is Kurt Zouma. So for me, them two should start, and it's just as easy as Jamie Vardy is going to be wanting to you know, bounce back with a win today. He's on New Year's Day, sorry, I keep saying today. He's going to be wanting to get a goal. He's going to be wanting to, you know, break through our defence, and if he does manage to do that, I think the player that's going to keep up with him pace wise, going to be able to mark him out the game, will be Kurt Zouma. I don't want to bring Yerry Mina in and then, you know, you know, make some silly challenges like we seen against Brighton, where he's making stupid challenges on the edge of the box. I don't want him to accidentally get caught on the back foot and then end up making a dodgy tackle in the box and giving away a penalty. That's not what we want. So for me, I've gone with Kurt Zouma and Michael Keane at centre half. Now, Seamus Coleman is an interesting one. We spoke about Seamus Coleman in the review to the Brighton game. We've spoken about him in pretty much every Mighty Blues video we've done over the last couple of weeks. I think Seamus Coleman is, let's just get this out the way, he's an Everton legend, he really is, but there's no time for sentiment, is there really isn't. I think it's become apparent now that we need a right back, whether that's January, whether that's the summer, we need a right back, because Seamus Coleman isn't at that level to take us that way, and that's natural. He's a 30-year-old, you know, man. He's had some bad injuries throughout his career. Sorry, he had that double leg break in the international game against Wales. He's had some other little injuries that have stopped his progress. It's only natural that Seamus Coleman is going to be going that way rather than that way. And I think, for me, we do need the new right back. We do. I think it's quite apparent that we need the new right back. It's apparent that whether it's Wan-Bissaka, whether it's somebody else that Marcel Brands have got their eye on, I think we need to bring somebody in. And, you know, whether that somebody comes in and starts every single week, I don't know. Whether that somebody comes in and provides, you know, a little bit of competition for Seamus Coleman. What I think is that Seamus Coleman has played in this Everton team for 10 years now, and he's been the right back for the majority of them 10 years, let's say. I don't think he's ever had any real competition, and I think that's what Seamus Coleman probably needs. You know, Baz made a really good point today when I was on there. He said he would like to think that the reason Luca Dean is playing as well as he is because Leighton Baines is pushing him to that level. For me, I would like somebody to come in and either push Seamus Coleman to that level or be a level above Seamus Coleman. So we've either got an upgrade on Coleman and a fantastic new right back, or we've got Coleman playing out of his heart and we've got two right backs at the top level who can, you know, come in and do a job. But that isn't the case at the minute, so I don't think there's a question. We do need a new right back. I think that. I think a lot of Evertonians think that as well. That guy says no Coleman, and you know, I think that's sort of the general consensus at the minute. For me, I know there's a lot of shouts for John Joe Kenny to come in. I know a lot of people are saying give him another chance. I probably think he does deserve another chance, to be honest. I don't think I'd do it in this game. If you look at John Joe Kenny's last performance for Everton, I think it was Leicester away. The reverse fixture, and he got absolutely torn to bits for their goal. He got torn inside out. He was left on his arse for their goal, and I don't think he's ready yet. I really don't think he's ready yet. And this is a game where we need 3 points. And yes, Seamus Coleman hasn't been fantastic recently. Yes, you know, it's very abundantly clear that we need to bring in another right back to challenge Seamus Coleman. That we need to bring in another right back to do that job. But at the minute, we haven't got that right back. And for me, I just don't think John Joe Kenny is ready. I don't think Marco Silva thinks John Joe Kenny is ready either. And I don't want a repeat of what happened in the reverse fixture where John Joe Kenny got sort of spun inside out. And especially, I don't want him to come in a game that we really need to win, because we need 3 points in this game. There's no arguing, there's no debating. This is a must-win game. We need the 3 points. Nothing else is acceptable other than 3 points. And for me, I don't want John Joe Kenny to come in, make a mistake, and everyone go, oh, we've lost that game, and he's not good enough either. We definitely need the new right back. He's not good enough. To bring John Joe Kenny in, I think we should do it when, you know, we're on a little bit of a decent run. If we can get past Leicester, going into the new year, maybe the Lincoln game, I'm sure he'll come in, see how he fares against, obviously, a poorer opposition than any Premier League team, and then maybe bring him into the team. I think you'd be throwing him into the deep end a little bit, putting him in on New Year's Day against Leicester City, and I think, you know, he struggled last time out against Leicester City. He struggled to keep up with their pace. I also don't think John Joe Kenny offers us enough going forward, and I think if we're going to play Ademola Lookman, which I predicted, I don't think you can play Lookman and John Joe Kenny on the same side, because I think that's two inexperienced players that, you know, John Joe Kenny doesn't get forward as much as maybe Seamus Coleman once did, and defensively he's also not fantastic, let's be honest. And I think Ademola Lookman needs as much support as he can, and he needs an experienced head behind him. And whether Seamus Coleman's playing well at the minute, whether he's not playing well at the minute, he is what we've got, and he is the experienced head. And if we're going to give somebody like Ademola Lookman an opportunity and a run of games, he needs as much experience behind him as he can to make sure that if he loses the ball, if he makes a mistake, it can be sorted out as quick as possible, and we're not looking at another scenario where we say, well, if Lookman doesn't lose the ball there, we don't concede that goal. So for me, I would put Seamus Coleman in there. Now, I've gone for a midfield three of Gylfi Sigurdsson and Idrissa Gana Gueye in the sort of defensive midfield role, if you like. I don't like to call it defensive because I don't think Gylfi Sigurdsson's a defensive midfielder. I think Idrissa Gana Gueye is. So I've gone for Gueye in the 6, maybe, Sigurdsson in the 8, and Bernard in the number 10 role. Now, I think Gylfi Sigurdsson has to play this game for me. I think we missed him madly at Brighton. We really did. We missed his creativity. We missed what he offers to this squad. We missed what he offers to this team. Bringing the Idrissa Gana Gueye back in and having him play next to Andre Gomes took a large chunk out of how we play. And I'm not saying that that's because Idrissa Gana Gueye isn't good enough. I'm not saying that's because Andre Gomes isn't good enough. I just think that neither of them pose that attacking threat, that attacking presence, and they got too caught up with doing the defensive role and doing the dirty bits rather than looking forward and looking to spray the ball to the Bernard on the left, Richarlison to the centre, or Walcott on the right, as it was against Brighton. So for me, I think I would have Idrissa Gana Gueye back in if we play a flat back 4. I would have him there to do that dirty work. Like, that's what he's good at. Let's be honest, Idrissa Gana Gueye is fantastic at sweeping up, at doing the work in the engine room, at just saying to him, you know what, you just sit there and you sweep up anything that we lose. You do the dirty work, you put the tackles in, you make the interceptions. But let's be honest with ourselves here, Idrissa Gana Gueye isn't the best passer of the ball. He struggles to make easy passes at the best of times. So somebody that is next to him has to be of an attacking mind and has to be able to provide that attacking threat and be able to pass a ball as well, aka a Gylfi Sigurdsson. Now, it would usually be an Andre Gomes. Again, I'm not dropping Andre Gomes. I just think he's playing with a little bit of a knock at the minute, and I think it's inevitable that in this period of fixtures, in this period of time where we play a lot of games, Andre Gomes is going to get rested. He is going to be taken out at some point because he deserves it. Let's be honest, he hadn't played football for 5 months. He come in against Crystal Palace and he hasn't been out the team since. He hasn't had a rest. He deserves a little bit of a rest. He's been absolutely fantastic. But if he is rested, it needs to be Gylfi Sigurdsson that fills in that role. I don't think Tom Davies is ready. I really don't. And I think it will be a little bit like the John Joe Kenny situation. If you put Tom Davies in, it would be setting him up for failure against a team that give a lot of pace, against a team that you know, have a massive attacking threat. I think it would just be, you know, I think it would be quite throwing him in the deep end with no armbands, literally, if you put Tom Davies in for this game. And I don't think Morgan Schneiderlin's good enough either. Again, he's another defensive mind, a little bit like a Garner Gay. So for me, I'd have Gylfi Sigurdsson next to Garner Gay. Like I said, Andre Gomes probably deserves a rest, is carrying a little knock at the minute, I think, and is probably playing through that knock because of how good he's been and because Marco Silva favours him, and rightly so. He's a fantastic footballer. You know, he's absolutely quality. He's been quality since he's joined Everton. And I think every single Evertonian, whether you're in the live chat, whether you're watching this as a video afterwards, will agree we need to sign this lad on a permanent from Barcelona at the end of the season. But I think it probably is the time now to bring him out, especially if he's carrying a knock. We don't want that knock to get worse. And this is the most interesting one for me, one that I've wanted to see for a while, one that I've wanted to see for pretty much since he signed for Everton, and one that I've wanted to see for more than 10 bloody minutes, and that is Bernard in the number 10. I personally think Bernard can offer so much in that number 10 role. I think it's absolutely unbelievable. Like I said, we've seen glimpses of it for 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. We haven't actually seen it properly, consistently yet. We haven't seen it from the off, and we haven't seen him stay in that position. We've seen him come off the bench a couple of times, go to the number 10 and then just drift out wide, and I think that's a tactic instruction by Marco Silva. I would like to see Bernard in the straight number 10, getting the ball from these Sigurdssons, getting the ball from your Gays, and then doing the attacking work, creating the chances, spreading the ball to Richarlison on the left, whether it be Lookman, Walcott on the right, and creating opportunities. Because, you know, you only have to look at the Burnley game. Bernard picks the ball up from the left for the Luka Dean free kick, picks the ball up from the left, runs in the middle, plays a great ball to Calvert-Lewin, who's fouled. Digne converts the free kick. Now, we know Bernard can play in that number 10 role. We know he can do it. He's got the pace, he's got the dribbling ability, and for me, I think if Leicester have got a player like Bernard running at them in the centre of the pitch, and he's, you know, he's doing step overs and he's getting through them, I think Harry Maguire will struggle. I think Wes Morgan will struggle to keep up with that, because they, you know, it may very well turn into one of them situations, a little bit like John Joe Kenny against Leicester in the reverse fixture, sorry, where, you know, he's got them ragged all game. He's running them ragged, and I think he is, you know, he's more effective to do that through the middle than he would be at the wing, because if he's doing it on the wing, he still has to then put a really good ball into the box. He still has to then find the man, or he has to turn in and shoot. And, you know, we've seen in recent weeks his shooting isn't fantastic at the minute, but he's an absolute wonderful footballer. And for me, I think having him in that number 10 role will benefit us, and I think it will offer us a lot, because he'll be able to get into the position that not a lot of players can. He's got the pace that maybe Gylfi Sigurdsson hasn't, and he's got the ability to pass a ball and see a man. And if you've got Richarlison coming inwards, or you've got Calvert-Lewin making space, and you've got Bernard running at them through the centre, spraying balls, you know, I think that's a really, really good option for us to have. So saying that, obviously I've gone for Richarlison on the left, Ademola Lookman on the right, who we talked about before, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. For me, I don't think Richarlison done enough against Brighton. I think it's a very frustrating performance. I think a lot of Evertonians will agree, very frustrated with how many times he was on the floor, how much time he spent on the floor. I think he probably was being kicked all game, and I think that's what you get with a player like Richarlison. You know, we know he's quality, other teams know he's quality, so all they will do all game is target him. They'll say, get on him, make sure you kick him up the park, make sure you don't give stupid fouls away, but make sure he doesn't get any opportunity, and that's what happens. And I think Richarlison understands that in a sense. He understands that he's going to get targeted, but I think he doesn't quite understand the level of refereeing in this league, and the fact that, you know, you might be kicked in the back of the leg. You're not always going to get a foul for it, so sometimes you do just have to get up and carry on, because the refereeing in this league, let's be honest, is an absolute joke at the best of times. But I've gone for Richarlison on the left. Like I said, I think he would offer a lot from that left-hand side, especially if we've got somebody like Bernard through the centre. Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front as well. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin deserves to come back in. He was taken out against Brighton, probably rested, maybe taken out because, you know, Marco Silva preferred Richarlison to start up there. But for me, I would keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin up there. I would let him continue his run of games, and I would see what he can do. I think he's an absolutely massive goal threat in the air, and I know they've got some big centre-halves in, you know, Harry Maguire, who's, you know, in the air is absolutely fantastic, but maybe on the floor isn't. So maybe if we've got a Bernard and a Richarlison that can play the ball along the floor, and then we've got a Calvert-Lewin who's a threat in the air, we can change it up a little bit throughout the game. We can, you know, we can make some tactical changes. We can say, in this attack, we're going to go through the floor, we're going to play a nice cutthroat ball through the middle for Richarlison to come onto, or in this attack, you know, maybe Richarlison or Bernard are going to put a fantastic ball in the box and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's going to rise to meet it. That's what we need to do. We need to change things up, because if we go out and just say all game we're going to lump balls into the box, Maguire will stand there all day. He'll just stand there and just head them all out. If we go out and say we're going to put the ball, you know, we're going to consistently thread the ball through, they'll get onto that as well, and they'll make sure that their midfield are tighter to our midfield, so we can't find them cutthroat balls. So I think it's important that we have a variety of different ways of getting the ball into the Calvert-Lewin, getting the ball into Richarlison, into Ademola Lookman if he starts as well. So on to the last one, Ademola Lookman, of course. We briefly touched on him just before. I think if he's fit, he should start for me. I don't know whether he is fit. I don't know whether, you know, he's going to be fit to play 90 minutes. I don't know whether he's going to be fit to start. I don't even know whether he's going to be fit to you know, to be in the 18. But for me, if he's fit, he starts. I don't think Theo Walcott's been good enough at all in recent weeks. And I think Ademola Lookman deserves his opportunity. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. Ademola Lookman deserves his opportunity. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's had his, and is getting his currently. Theo Walcott's had his for the majority of the season. Pretty much all the season, he's had his opportunity to prove himself, and he hasn't. He hasn't been able to do that. I think he scored 2 goals this season. He's missed a plethora of chances, and he's not creating enough. So for me, if Ademola Lookman is fit, he should come in and he should get his opportunity to show us what he can do, and he should get that over a period of 5 to 10 games. And then at the end of them 5 to 10 games, you can sit back and say, right, this is what we have. We're now maybe in the middle of January. This is what we have. What do we need? Can we get that in January for a realistic price? No. Okay, we know what we need in the summer, and I think that's what Marcel Brands and Marco Silva will be looking for. That guy says, do you think Davis should go out on loan like Holgate and Dowell? I think a loan would probably benefit Tom Davis. I wouldn't send him out on loan, just because I think I'm a bit wary of how many lads we're sending out on loan. I'm also wary of the fact that I think we'll probably sell a few players in January. I think Niasse will leave the club. I think Morgan Schneiderlin will probably leave the club, as well as a couple more that are in contention. So I'd keep Tom Davis. I think he's a good squad player. I think he's a very, very good player. To be honest, I don't think he's ready to start week in, week out, and he's obviously not at the level that Andre Gomez is or Gylfi Sigurdsson. But for me, I wouldn't send them out on loan, just purely because I think there's players that, you know, are going to be leaving the club, and realistically, you know, are in more of a position to leave the club than Tom Davis is. So I don't think it's a priority to send Tom out on loan this season. Shabba says he was like a terrier against Burnley. I'm not too... Oh, Bernard, I assume that's about... Yeah, exactly. He's absolutely fantastic. Even the Brighton game, you've seen him getting in the face of Brighton players once they didn't put the ball out. I've had some comments on the instant match reaction from Brighton fans absolutely fuming. You know, you didn't do that either, this, that, the other. How can you say you should have beaten us? Where this, where that? You know, fair enough. You're a Brighton fan and you're watching this. Fair enough. Good luck for the rest of the season. For me, Everton should be aiming a lot higher than Brighton are. That's just me as an Everton fan. That's just me wanting to break into the top 6, wanting European football, wanting to challenge for trophies. But fair enough, you know, you play well. But that's enough about the Brighton game anyway. But you're absolutely right. Bernard, I think for me, has been fantastic in the last couple of weeks. Yes, you know, his shooting hasn't been unbelievable. Yes, he cut in and he attempted to get the ball into the corner of the net by hitting it with his laces. Maybe his final product isn't the best, but at the end of the day, he's getting in them positions and he's creating chances. He got the assist against Burnley. He obviously created the opportunity for the free kick, and I think he's fantastic. And for me, he offers an awful lot playing from the left, but I would love to see what he can offer from playing through the middle as well, and being that cutthroat man that creates the chances in the middle of the park, and then utilising Richarlison on the left, and, you know, whether it be Walcott or Lookman on the right. Shabbat also says, yeah, Walcott was poor against Brighton. He was. He didn't offer us anything. He didn't create anything. And for me, I'm really shocked how he stayed on for 90 minutes, to be honest. In fact, I'm really shocked how Bernard come off and Walcott stayed on. I think for me, it should have probably been the other way around, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, for me, it's a must-win game, this. It's an absolutely must-win game. We need to kick off 2019 with a bang. We need to make sure that going into the new year, we've got this result, we've got this 3 points, and we can sit back into the new year and go, okay, December's out the way. The run of games where you play stupid amounts of games in such a short period of time is out the way. Let's go and beat Lincoln in the cup, give some of our more experience, give some of our first teamers a little bit of a rest, and then let's go on and get some good results. We've got a lot of winnable games between now and the end of January. I don't think we play a top 6 side until the end of February, if I'm right. I might be wrong on that one, but we've got a lot of winnable games, and we need to pick as many points up, as we can in this period of time. And for me, that starts against Leicester. Like I said, Leicester are one place below us in the table, but the table at the minute is it's very hit and miss. If we'd have beaten Brighton yesterday, we'd have gone to 2 points behind Manchester United, I believe, well in the race for the top sort of 6. But we didn't, and we've dropped straight down the table. We've now got Leicester on our back. If they beat us, they go above us. West Ham as well, who are close to us as well. So I wouldn't take too much notice at the Premier League table at the minute. I think the lads just need to focus on getting the 3 points. It will be a tough game. Leicester have got, a lot of quality. James Maddison, who's been fantastic this season, and, we know what Jamie Vardy can do. Let's be honest. If Jamie Vardy's one-on-one with any goalkeeper in this league, I fancy him to score. We know what he can do. We've seen what he could do against Chelsea. We've seen what he could do against Manchester City. So we need to be defensively strong. Whether it's Keane, Zuma, Mina, Keane, whether it's the 3 of them together, we need to be defensively strong, and we cannot let them get in behind us. We cannot let Jamie Vardy do what Son done in the Tottenham game and get in behind us and give him that space. We just simply can't let it happen. But yeah, for me, this is a must-win game. Hopefully, we can go out and get the 3 points. Mess says Gomez needs a rest. Yeah, for me, I think he does. I think he probably deserves a rest as well, especially if he's carrying a knock. Let's not carry on playing him. Let's not, play him to the point where that knock becomes an injury, and that injury becomes, something that keeps him out for weeks and months. So if he's got a knock, let's rest him until he's fully fit again and give him his, his opportunity to have a well-deserved rest for me. But that is going to do it for this team anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, a must-win game against Leicester. Nothing other than a 3 points is acceptable. We need a reaction. They're going to be looking for a reaction, but we just need to make sure that our reaction is, a lot more, a lot better than their reaction, if that makes any sense. We need to make sure that the chances we're creating, we're scoring. We need another Burnley-like performance where we, 6 shots on target, score 5, and not a Brighton-like performance where we hit the bar, the post, everything other than the back of the net. So it's a big, massive game for Marco Silva, and hopefully we can start 2019 off with a win. An absolutely shocking time to play 12:30 on New Year's Day, but hopefully everybody can get down there, and if not, hopefully you can watch the game, and it's a big 3 points needed. Let's be honest. I'll be back obviously on Tuesday with my instant match reaction and the game review as well. I think the game review will be a little bit later on Tuesday than it usually is, but I'll be keeping you updated on that on our Twitter account, so don't forget to go and follow us on Twitter. It's at MightyBluesYT, but I'll definitely be back with the instant match reaction on Tuesday straight after the game. But yeah, like I said, this is a must win. It's a 3 points, and Brighton was a must win, and we didn't get the 3 points there. This becomes an even bigger must win game now. 3 points is the only acceptable result for this game, and Marco Silva and the lads really need to step the game up, because we were not good enough against Brighton. We did not create enough, and we didn't look like we wanted to get anything from the game, and we can't afford to do that against a team with the quality of Leicester. We were beaten 1-0 by Brighton, who, okay, are a good team at home, but they haven't got the attack and threat that Leicester have. I don't even think a Brighton fan would say that they have. They haven't got the the Jamie Vardy with the pace. They haven't got an absolutely quality midfield player like James Maddison. So we need to make sure we're on the ball, and we need to go out fighting, and we need to pressurize them, and we need to play them. We need to make sure that we're attacking, we're counter-attacking brilliantly, we're playing fast, quick, intelligent football, and at the end of the day we need to be pressing them, and we need to be pressing them all game and constantly putting them on the back foot and forcing them to make mistakes. And then when we get in behind, we need to be obviously putting the ball in the back of the net. But that is going to do it for this live team. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks everyone in the live comments. Shabba says, right Cam, see you next year. Yep, see you next year. Obviously, hopefully we've got the 3 points. Hopefully the next time we're speaking that I'm saying, you know, instant match reaction, Everton 7, Leicester 0. What a fantastic win. No, I'm only joking, but hopefully we get the 3 points because it's badly needed. And let's be honest, you know, we've had a poor December. We really have. We've had an absolute shocking December, and I don't want to think about this month anymore in a footballing sense. I want us to go out, get the 3 points, and then start the new year off right and carry on getting results, because we've got a lot of winnable games in the next month or so, and you know, we need to get as many points as we can on the board to, you know, to take us that level above the Leicesters, the Brightons, and those other teams, and to keep us closer to the top 6, and you know, realistically to get us European football, because that's what we all want. But anyway, that is going to do it for this stream. If you have enjoyed, please do leave a like, subscribe if you are new, if you haven't already. If you're watching this as a YouTube video afterwards, please do leave a like, leave your comments in the comment section down below as well. I'll be, you know, replying to them all night long, so make sure you leave your comments. What do you think about my predicted starting 11? Do you think Ademola Lookman should come in if he is fit? Do you think that, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin should come back in? What do you think about Bernard playing as the number 10? Do you like that idea? Do you think he should still stay on the left-hand side? What do you think about, you know, taking Andre Gomez out and playing Gay and Gylfi Sigurdsson as the centre of midfield? And if Marco Silva reverts back to a back 4, who would you have in there? Would you have Mina, Zuma, Keane, Zuma like I've picked, or would you have Keane and Mina? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all ever so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic new year. I hope it's filled with joy, I hope it's filled with happiness, and I hope your whole year is filled with everything great. If you're going out on New Year's Day, no matter where you live, please be safe, especially if you live in Liverpool. There's some awful things going on at the minute in the city centre, so please be safe if you're going out. I'll see you on New Year's Day in 2019 for my instant match reaction to Everton versus Leicester City. Hopefully it's a positive one, and hopefully we've got the 3 points and we've started the year off right. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all ever so much for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.